"I'm leaving you," she said, soft and clean. "I've fallen in love with a richer man." There it was, the headline she wanted me to choke on. I waited. I let the silence stretch until it got uncomfortable. Then I said the only word that made Blaire's smile twitch. "Great." Her eyebrows lifted. "Great?" I shrugged. "If you're leaving, you're leaving." She expected begging. She expected questions. She expected my hands to shake. She'd built a whole movie where I played the desperate husband, and she got to be the brave woman choosing herself. Instead, I opened the front door like a doorman. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. "You're not even going to ask who he is?" she said. "Does it matter?" I asked. Her phone buzzed. She flipped it up fast, and one word flashed before she angled it away. "Grant." She smiled like she'd won a prize and rolled her suitcase out. On the porch, she paused, turned back, and let her eyes shine with performance tears. "I hope you handle this like an adult," she said. "I will," I said. She walked down the steps. Mrs. Larkin's stare followed her. Blaire slid into the passenger seat of a dark SUV at the curb. The driver didn't get out. A man's hand reached over and squeezed her thigh, casual as ownership. The interior light blinked, and I saw a profile, clean jaw, hair too neat, a watch face catching porch light. Then the SUV rolled away. I didn't slam the door. I didn't break anything. I just walked back to the island and opened a new note on my phone. Timeline. The cursor blinked. Patient. Hungry. My email pinged. Subject line. Document ready for service. I hadn't filed anything yet, so why was something ready? I clicked the email. It wasn't from the court. It was from a private document service, the kind businesses use when they want papers delivered fast and clean. The sender line had a generic address, but the footer gave away the client. Hale Development. Legal. Grant hadn't waited for my reaction. He'd moved first, the way men like him always do. He'd turned the story into a file before I could even finish swallowing the word, great. I closed the laptop and stared at my reflection in the black screen. My face looked the same. That was the part that mattered. The diner off Route 1 had bad coffee and a bell above the door that rang like a warning. Dana Klein chose it because nobody important ate there. Dana liked places where the walls didn't have ears. She was 45, sharp-eyed, hair pulled back like it had better things to do. She didn't waste words on sympathy. That's why I hired her. "You want revenge?" she asked, flipping open a legal pad. "Then don't do anything that feels like revenge. Do things that hold up." Across from her, Ray Dobbins slid into the booth like a man who knew how to sit still for hours without getting bored. Ex-insurance investigator. The kind of boring that makes juries listen. Dana tapped her pen. Rules. 1. Don't threaten anyone. 2. Don't post. 3. Don't touch her phone. 4. Build leverage like you're assembling a file for a stranger. She wrote leverage in block letters and underlined it twice. "Here's the thing," Dana said. "Family court isn't a stage. It's a spreadsheet. Judges don't care how hurt you feel. They care what you can prove and what you can prevent. When filings start, people get stupid. They drain accounts. They rack up debt. They accidentally lose access to documents. We're going to ask for temporary restraints the minute we can justify it, so the money can't run off with her feelings." I nodded. I'd seen Blaire treat money like a mood. Good mood, she spent. Bad mood, she spent harder. Ray nodded once. "I can get you clean pieces. Hotel lobby, license plates, timestamps. Nothing illegal, just boring enough to be devastating." He slid a sample report across the table. Black and white photos, dates, times, a little map screenshot with a dot. It looked like something you'd toss in the trash until you understood what a sworn exhibit does to a lie. Blaire called while we were still there. Speakerphone because Dana insisted. Her voice poured out sweet. Hey, Evan, I just want this to be peaceful. I love you. You know that. She says, love you the way people say receipt at Walmart, I muttered. Dana raised a finger. Keep it short. Okay, I said into the phone. Send whatever you need through Dana. A pause. Blaire didn't like the name. You hired an attorney already? She said. I'm handling it like an adult, I said. She hung up without saying goodbye. In the rain outside, Ray didn't make it dramatic. He's not just a richer man, he said. He's married. Dana's voice came from behind me. That changes the chessboard, she said. But it doesn't change your rules. In my car, I opened my note. Timeline. Under Blaire leaves, I typed, Grant Hale, married. Then my phone buzzed again, an invite forwarded by mistake from our shared account. Marina Club Charity Gala, couples night. Blaire had RSVP'd yes, and she'd put my name beside hers. Dana read the invite and nodded slowly. Good, she said. Optics cut both ways. Optics? I asked. People like Blaire think public settings protect them, Dana said. They think you won't react where it can be seen, and they're right. So you don't react. You observe. You collect. You let them show the pattern. She leaned closer. When we file, we request temporary restraints on marital assets. That's standard when there's a risk someone will dissipate. If she's spending on this man, it becomes relevant. If he's married, it becomes explosive. Either way, your job is the same. Keep your hands clean and your timeline sharp. The Marina Club looked like money trying to cosplay as charm. String lights, champagne, black water outside the windows like a secret that never sleeps. Blaire walked in on my arm like I was an accessory she'd picked because it matched her dress. She leaned in once and whispered, Smile, don't embarrass me. Grant Hale found us near the silent auction tables. Suit perfect, smile purchased, eyes always checking who was watching. Evan, he said, like we were friends. Blaire's fingers tightened on my arm. She's with me tonight, Grant said, quiet but audible. Then he patted my shoulder, like I was the kid brother, like I was the help. I could feel people around us pretending not to listen. That rich party trick where everyone acts blind while they collect every detail for later. Blaire's friends watched my face like they wanted a crack. One of them, Sienna, the one who always acted like my name was hard to remember, lifted her phone and angled it slightly, like she was ready to record if I exploded. Heat rose, but I kept my face calm. Dana's rules lived in my mouth now. I tilted my head. Enjoy the rental, I said. I built the house. Grant laughed, but it didn't reach his eyes. Blaire's lips parted like she wanted to bite me. Across the room, a woman stood very still, holding a glass she hadn't sipped. Dark hair, cool posture. She watched Blaire the way a bank teller watches a shaky hand sign a withdrawal slip. Sloane Mercer, Grant's wife, public face. She wasn't smiling, she wasn't angry. She was assessing, like she was measuring the cost of everyone in the room and deciding what could be written off. Blaire saw her too and went pale for half a second, then rebuilt her smile like nothing happened. Grant leaned closer. Let the adults handle it, he murmured. Blaire laughed on cue, the sound a little too bright. He's sensitive, she told Grant, loud enough for nearby ears. We're working on it. I looked at her. Working on what? She smiled without warmth. You. Your attitude. Your small-town martyr thing. Grant's hand rested at the small of her back like a claim. You have to forgive him, he said. Some men never grow out of needing to be needed. The words were designed to make me either explode or shrink. I did neither. I just nodded once, polite. I'll let you two get back to your charity, I said. It looks expensive. When I walked away, I felt eyes follow me. Not sympathy, curiosity, the town's favorite sport. That was the rehook. Everyone was watching, and Blaire still believed watching was safety. I looked past him at the camera in the corner. "I am," I said. Security hovered because security always hovered near Grant. Power comes with its own witnesses. Sloane drifted toward me when Blaire stepped away for photos. She stopped close enough that I could smell her perfume. Clean, not aggressive. "If you're about to do what I think you're about to do," she whispered, "don't miss." Then she glided away, leaving the sentence in my pocket like a match. When we got home, Blaire locked the bedroom door and talked softly on the phone. In the living room, I opened Ray's folder. Inside, a still image from a hotel lobby camera. Blaire in the background, head turned toward a man in a suit. Grant Hale, timestamp 11:47 p.m. Proof. At 2:11 a.m., Ray texted, "They're moving tomorrow downtown, parking garage under Hale Tower." I stared at it until the screen dimmed. Then I set an alarm. Hale Tower rose above downtown like a glass threat. The parking garage under it smelled like oil and wet concrete. Every footstep echoed like it wanted to be heard in court. Ray waited in his car up top. I parked lower, where Blaire's sedan would pass. When she pulled in, she didn't see me. She adjusted her hair like she was prepping for a camera, not a meeting. Grant's SUV rolled in a minute later. They met near the elevator. Grant kissed her cheek. Blaire laughed, then reached into her purse and pulled out my spare set of keys. My keys. Blaire started toward my car. I stepped out before she could touch the door. Her face snapped from surprise to anger. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same," I said. Her hand shot toward my phone. Reflex, delete, control, erase. I let her grab it. I let her think she'd won for 1 second. Then I lifted my other hand and showed her my spare phone. Backups, cloud, Dana's office, Ray's folder, copies stacked like bricks. Her pupils widened. "You're stalking me." "No," I said. "I'm documenting you." Grant appeared behind her, walking slow, like this was his garage. "You're making a mistake," he said. "I'm standing in public," I said. "In a building with cameras. I'm calm. What mistake am I making?" He stepped closer, blocking my path the way his SUV blocked the lane. He wanted me to shove him. He wanted a headline. Ray's voice in my earbud. "They're trying to make you swing first." "I'm going to walk away," I said. "And you're going to let me." Grant's jaw flexed. He held the pause too long, like he was waiting for me to do something stupid. A car came up the ramp behind his SUV and honked. The sound ricocheted off concrete. Grant didn't move. He wanted the lane to stay blocked because blocked lanes make people feel powerless. Blaire stood at his shoulder, eyes bright, enjoying the pressure, not loving him, loving the moment. I raised my voice just enough for the camera to catch my words without turning them into a scene. "I'm leaving," I said. "If you block me, that's on you." Grant finally stepped back an inch. Just enough. I looked at him. "I know you're married." For the first time, something flickered, fear or just annoyance at being seen too clearly. My phone buzzed as I reached my door. "Dana. He filed something. Today. Against you." I froze for half a heartbeat. I wasn't the only one making moves. On the drive home, the rain came down harder, and I kept both hands on the wheel because rage makes people drift. Dana picked up on the second ring. "Don't text her," she said immediately. "I wasn't going to," I said. "What did he file?" "Temporary protective order request," she said. "He's painting you as unstable. It's a common trick. Make you look like the threat, so the court treats you like a problem." "And if I'd shoved him?" I asked. Dana exhaled. "Then his filing becomes prophecy, and you become the headline you never asked for." When I got home, Ray sent a short video clip from the garage camera angle he'd captured. It showed Grant blocking my path, me stepping back, my hands open. It showed Blaire holding my keys. It showed the exact thing Grant didn't want. My calm. I saved it twice. Dana's office smelled like copier toner and old paper. She read Grant's filing and made a sound like she'd bitten a lemon. "Protective order request," she said. "He's claiming you're harassing them." "Based on what?" I asked. "Based on you showing up first," Dana said. "People love the first story." "So we show the receipts," I said. Dana nodded. "We show your story. You don't tell it. Temporary orders hearing, restraints on marital assets, dissipation, money spent on the affair, prenup enforcement, exclusive use of the home, procedural, not poetic." Dana built the case like she was assembling furniture with instructions. Fast, precise, no missing screws. She asked for bank statements, retirement summaries, credit card ledgers, deeds, the prenup, and proof of who paid what and when. "People think fair is a feeling," she said. "In court, fair is a calculation." Blaire tried to yank me back into emotion. She showed up at the house once when she knew I'd be home, standing on the porch in the drizzle with that sad face she used when she wanted forgiveness without responsibility. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. "You meant to win," I said. Her expression flipped. "Don't be dramatic," she snapped. Then softer again. "We can still be friends." She cycled personalities like outfits. I kept the door chain on. "And one more thing," Dana said, tapping a policy booklet. "We report misconduct through proper channels, truthful, documented, no threats." She wrote a name, Paula Ingram. That afternoon, I drafted a letter with Dana's edits. No rage, no adjectives, just dates, locations, exhibits. At 6:14 p.m., Paula replied, "We've opened an internal review." The sentence was polite, and it landed like a trapdoor. Blaire called, voice like broken glass. "You went after his job?" "I reported facts," I said. "You're ruining my life." "You already started," I said. "I'm just documenting the steps." She tried soft again. "Evan, please, we can talk. We can do this privately." "You mean quietly," I said. The doorbell rang. I opened the door to a man in a raincoat holding papers and a calm face, a process server. "Is Grant Hale at this address?" he asked. Behind him, a second car idled at the curb. Blaire's breath caught through my phone speaker. The server glanced down. "I have documents for Blaire Cole," he said. "And for Grant Hale. Separate matters." Grant lived in a gated townhouse complex where the streetlights were bright enough to make darkness feel illegal. I didn't go there alone. I went with Sloane. "I don't need muscle," she told me earlier. "I need witness." Grant opened his door in a sweater like he was a man with nothing to hide. Then he saw Sloane, and his face changed. "What is this?" he demanded. Sloane lifted her phone. "We're recording," she said. "For clarity." Grant's gaze snapped to me. "You." Sloane's voice stayed flat. "Evan has a question. Answer it." I raised my phone, recording, and spoke clearly. "Grant Hale, are you having an affair with my wife, Blaire Cole?" Grant tried to calculate. Then, because he was arrogant, he chose the lie that sounded like power. "Yes," he said, "and it's none of your business anymore." Sloane didn't flinch. Only her eyes narrowed, like she'd finally found the exact point where the truth could be cut. Grant jabbed a finger at my chest, not hard, just enough to invite a response. I stepped back, hands open. "Touch him again and I call the police," Sloane said. Grant laughed. "Call them." She did. Officer Ortiz arrived, calm, lights washing the quiet street red and blue. Grant launched into a speech about harassment. Officer Ortiz turned to me. "Sir?" "I'm here with Mrs. Hale," I said. "She invited me. He touched me first. We're recording. I'm leaving now." Officer Ortiz looked at Sloane. "Ma'am?" "I'd like him to stop touching people and stop lying," she said. As we walked away, Sloane asked, "How long have you been sitting on this?" "Long enough," I said, "to make court interesting." The weeks after Blaire left weren't dramatic. They were procedural. That was the point. Passwords changed. Accounts separated where allowed. Every transfer documented. Anything sentimental moved somewhere safe, because sentimental things are easy to destroy and hard to prove. Blaire posted sunsets and wine glasses and captions about new beginnings. Her friends tossed heart emojis like confetti. In a small town, everyone plays town crier. Mrs. Larkin didn't even hide it anymore. She'd stop me at the mailbox with a concerned face and a hungry smile. "How are you holding up, Evan?" she'd ask, loud enough for 3 porches to hear. "Fine," I'd say. "Oh, good," she'd reply, disappointed. At the grocery store, people avoided eye contact like betrayal was contagious. At the Marina Club, they watched me like I was a weather report. Bad news, but interesting. Ray kept watching. He didn't watch them kiss. He watched them spend. One night, Ray asked me to drive. "Not close," he said. "Just close enough to learn their route." We tailed Grant's SUV out past the last streetlights, where the town gave way to pines and the road narrowed. A lakeside service road ran behind the marinas, half-paved, used by maintenance crews and people who wanted privacy. Grant drove it like he owned it. Blaire's laugh floated out of an open window when they slowed near the water. I stayed back, lights off, far enough that a passing car would assume I was just another local taking the shortcut. The lake was a black sheet. The wind carried the smell of wet leaves. Ray's voice was calm in my ear. "See that?" he said. "He's not hiding. That means he thinks he's untouchable." I watched the SUV pull into a turnout. I watched 2 silhouettes move inside the dark. I didn't film anything graphic. I didn't need to. I just wrote down the time, dinner receipts, a weekend rental, a pair of shoes charged to a company card, then reimbursed through petty cash. "Company resources," Ray said. "Not huge. Enough." Dana filed quietly. Divorce petition, temporary orders, asset restraints, prenup enforcement, dissipation exhibits, and notice of the HR review. She looked at me and said, "At the hearing, don't perform. Just answer." The night before court, I set the envelope by the door like something that didn't need to be swung to hurt. At 11:58 p.m., my phone buzzed with a reminder I'd set weeks ago. Court, 9:00 a.m. Bring the envelope. I stared at it until my eyes burned. Then I tried to sleep. In the dark, I listened to the house settling, the little pops of wood and pipe, the ordinary sounds that used to mean safety. Now they sounded like witnesses taking notes. I counted breaths until my mind stopped trying to sprint ahead. Tomorrow wasn't about love. It was about paper. The courthouse smelled like wet wool and old stress. People sat on hard benches clutching paper cups like they were holding themselves together. Blaire arrived dressed for victory. Cream coat, hair smooth, makeup done for cameras. She smiled at me like she was unafraid. Dana didn't smile. Dana wore black like a warning label. Blaire's attorney shook my hand in the hallway with a grip that said, "We can do this easy if you let her have what she wants." His tie was too bright for the building. "Mr. Cole," he said, "my client prefers an amicable process." I looked at Dana. Dana looked at him. Dana said nothing. Silence was her favorite weapon. Judge Harper took the bench at 9:04 a.m., gray around the temples, eyes tired in the way tired people get when they've heard too many rehearsed sentences. He started reading temporary orders. Blaire leaned back like it was a formality. Dana stood. "Your Honor, we have an additional filing, properly served, relevant to asset restraint and dissipation." She handed the clerk the envelope. Judge Harper opened it, scanned the first page, then paused mid-sentence and looked straight at Blaire. The room tightened. "Ma'am," he said, calm. "This hearing is not about romance. It's about protecting assets and preventing misconduct while this case proceeds." Blaire blinked. "That's irrelevant." "It's relevant to credibility and to the relief requested," he said, turning a page. There is notice here of a pending internal review at Hale Development and sworn exhibits regarding dissipation. He set the papers down. Ma'am, he said, you've been served. Blaire's head snapped toward me. Panic replaced polish. What did you do? She whispered. I answered the court, not her. Dates, amounts, timestamps, exhibits. Blaire's attorney objected to everything like objections could erase receipts. Speculation, he said. Foundation, he said. Relevance, he said. Judge Harper listened, then asked the question, attorneys hate. Counsel, he said, are you arguing that these expenditures did not occur, or that they should not matter? Blaire's attorney hesitated. Blaire's eyes flashed. In that pause, you could feel the room choose which story it believed. Dana spoke in a quiet voice that carried anyway. Your Honor, the exhibits speak for themselves. We are requesting restraints because the pattern shows dissipation risk. When Judge Harper spoke again, it was a sentence that changed the shape of her face. Temporary restraints on certain marital accounts, granted. Exclusive use of the marital home, granted. Accounting of expenditures, ordered. Judge Harper looked over his glasses. Ms. Cole, he said, you can be unhappy. You can file for divorce. That is your right. But you do not get to treat marital assets like a prize you grab on the way out. Blaire's cheeks flushed. I didn't. You will have the opportunity to explain, he said, cutting her off without raising his voice. Through your accounting. Dana finally spoke more than 2 sentences. Her tone stayed dry. Your Honor, for clarity, we are not seeking punishment. We are seeking stability and compliance. Mr. Cole has maintained payments on the home and has preserved records. We ask the court to maintain the status quo while discovery proceeds. Judge Harper nodded like he appreciated adults in the room. Blaire's throat worked like she was trying to swallow a stone. In the hallway, she grabbed my sleeve. Please, she hissed, don't do this. I looked at her hand. Take it off, I said. She did, like she'd been burned. And then I said the line she'd wanted to own forever, only now it belonged to the record. She said, I'm leaving you. I've fallen in love with a richer man. I replied, great. Then I let her walk away, confident she'd won. Weeks later in court, the judge paused mid-sentence and looked straight at her. And that's when she realized the hearing was never about the divorce. And what I'd already done was irreversible. Blaire stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. She'd wanted a breakup. She got a file. On the courthouse steps, the wind had teeth. Blaire followed me down, heels clicking faster now, like she could outrun the order. You can't freeze everything, she said. You're punishing me. I'm preventing you from taking more, I said. She tried tears, real ones. I made a mistake. You made a plan, I said. A black SUV rolled up and stopped too close. Grant stepped out, jaw tight, anger looking for something soft to land on. You did this, he said. I filed truth, I said. He grabbed my arm, hard enough to matter in front of cameras and strangers. Let go, I said. He didn't. Then Sloane appeared from the side entrance, not rushing, holding a folder. She looked at Grant like he was a stranger she'd once loved, and now couldn't remember why. Take your hands off him, she said. Grant turned. Sloane, HR called me, she said. They didn't call to chat. Blaire snapped her head toward Sloane. Who are you? Sloane didn't look at her. You told me she was nothing, Sloane said to Grant. You told me it was business dinners. You didn't tell me you were stupid. Grant released my arm slowly, trying to collect himself. Sloane opened the folder and pulled out 1 page, just one, then held it so Grant could see it. Timeline, admissions, dates, policy references, the word yes on his recorded answer. Grant's face shifted from anger to calculation, survival. He glanced at Blaire, and I watched him decide, right in front of her, that she was the thing he could drop to save himself. Blaire saw it too. Her eyes widened. "Grant," she whispered. Grant's voice went flat. "Go home." Not our home. The idea of being quiet. Across the street, behind glass, Paula Ingram waited with a badge and a folder. Professional. Unmoved. Security stepped between Grant and the building, gentle but firm. Grant's smile cracked. "This is personal," he told Paula. Paula didn't blink. "It's policy," she said. He turned to Blaire like she was a shield he could hide behind. "Tell them," he said. "Tell them you pursued me. Tell them you're unstable." Blaire's mouth fell open. "What?" The betrayal was fast, clean, and public. That's what made it brutal. Sloane made a small sound, almost a laugh, almost a cough. "There he is," she said. "The real him." Blaire's face did something strange in that moment. Like a mask cracking. She'd thought she was trading up. She'd thought a man with money meant a man with protection. Instead, she was watching him reach for her and still shove her into the fire. "You told me you loved me," Blaire said, voice small. Grant didn't even look ashamed. "Don't do this," he said. "Not here. Not now." "You said you'd take care of me," she insisted. He leaned in like he was giving advice. "I told you what you wanted to hear. That's not the same thing." Sloane stepped closer until she was between them. "There it is," she said again, softer. "The truth. He doesn't love anything he can't invoice." Blaire stared at Sloane, then at me, and finally at the courthouse doors behind us. For the first time, she looked less like a woman leaving a marriage and more like a woman realizing she'd walked into the wrong room and the door had locked. Grant's phone buzzed. He checked it, paled, and looked up at Paula. The board meeting had already started. His world was moving without him. Paula spoke without raising her voice. "Mr. Hale, please come with me." Grant's jaw worked. The security guard's hand hovered near his radio. Grant took one step, then another, because this time charm didn't open the door. Blaire shook on the steps, watching her upgrade get escorted like a risk. Sloane looked at me once. "Thank you," she said, like I'd held a door. I nodded. I walked toward the parking garage, the place where echoes make every consequence sound louder than it is. Behind me, Blaire called my name once, trying to rewind time with her voice. I didn't turn. Inside the garage, my footsteps rang on concrete. Distant voices bounced off the walls. The sound followed me like it wanted me to look back, but I kept going, because the town would talk. Mrs. Larkin would spread it like fertilizer. The Marina Club would whisper. The courthouse would file it away. Hale Development would do what corporations do when rot gets visible, and Blaire would have to live inside the picture she'd tried to sell, only now the frame was cracked. My hands didn't shake. That was the part she never understood. Calm isn't surrender. Calm is focus, and focus is a weapon. Always has been. Here. At the bottom level, I paused beside my car and listened to the echoes fade. She thought she was leaving a loser. Turns out she was leaving the only man in the room who planned ahead.